ready for some Miami Heat basketball with Deron Butler on Kendall Sports Network.
Good Wednesday evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Deron Butler, welcoming you to another edition of Heat Zone Live, courtesy of Kendall Sports Network. It's Hump Day, and the Miami Heat are ready for some basketball action as they are in the Lone Star State, Dallas to be exact, to take on Cooper Flag and the Dallas Mavericks. This one should be another fun, high-scoring game between these two teams. And the Mavericks got Anthony Davis back, but will his health be a factor in tonight's matchup against the likes of Bam Adebayo and Kel'el Ware? Well, only one way to find out is through my 3 keys. The first key is continue the stifling Cooper Flag. In the initial game for Cooper Flag against the Miami Heat, the Heat did just enough to slow him down on the offensive end. But since then, Cooper Flag has found his niche. He's found ways to score and get hot in a hurry. So the Miami Heat will need a repeat performance to slow down Cooper Flag, this time on his home court. Number 2, the second key is to dominate against Anthony Davis and Daniel Gafford in the paint. Bam Adebayo and Kel'el Ware have been astounding on both ends of the floor when it comes to rebounding. Not just in defensive rebounding, but offensive rebounding as well. I expect Bam and Kel'el to do just enough, if not more, against AD and Daniel Gafford, and to slow them down and to prevent them from getting rebounds of their own. And third and final key is for the Heat to not only use transitional play, but to also make extra passes and attack with the mid-range game. 2 nights ago against the Clippers, we saw a 3-point barrage and a crazy epic run for the Heat. This time around, I expect more of a poised, more technical approach to the game, rather than just letting it fly against the Mavericks. So right now, the Heat will need to do a lot of extra passes, spacing out the floor, and hitting jumpers. So that's a big plus for the Miami Heat. They will need to do just enough to prevent the Mavericks from getting any kind of positioning or domination in tonight's game. So I'll be back for not just the player introductions, but also opening tip. The players are warming up, and I'll be right back. And we are back, ready to begin this game between the Heat and the Mavericks, which is now on NBA TV. We have opening tip-off. Our starting lineup for the Heat include Bam Adebayo, Andrew Wiggins, Pelle Larsson in for the injured Norman Powell, Tyler Hero, and Davion Mitchell. For the Dallas Mavericks, we have Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, Max Christie, Andrew Nembhard, and not sure who's the other person. But Miami wins the tip, and we have NBA action underway. Davion Mitchell now has the ball. Kicks it out to Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins to Bam for three. And Bam Bam Adebayo gets Miami on the board. And here come the Mavericks. Nembhard being guarded by Davion Mitchell. Cooper Flagg sets the screen. Nembhard kicks it out to Anthony Davis. Back to Nembhard. Here comes Nembhard. Out to Cooper Flagg. Back to Nembhard. Corner three. That's a miss. Rebound by Bam. And here come the Heat. Davion Mitchell kicks it out to Tyler Hero. To Bam for another corner three. He misses it. And here come the Mavericks. They give it to Cooper Flagg. Flagg being guarded by Pelle Larsson. Flagg now being guarded by Bam. Kicks it out to AD. Ball's loose, and here comes Miami again. Miami on a fast break. They got numbers. Oh, and Tyler Hero gets fouled hard by Anthony Davis. Elbow to the back of the head. And that's going to send Tyler Hero to the line for 2 free throws. Oh, okay, Miami will have it side out instead. That's going to be out of bounds on Dallas. And here comes Tyler Hero. Corner three. And he gets it. Tyler Superhero knocks down that corner three as the Heat go up by 6. Here comes Cooper Flagg. Being guarded. And that's stolen away by Tyler Hero. Miami on a fast break. And Tyler Hero goes from coast to coast for that layup. Miami now has 8 points in this one. Here comes Cooper Flagg. Out to Max Christie. Max Christie loses the ball, but that's going to be a foul on Tyler Hero. All right, Dallas looking to set the pace and looking to take care of the ball, but so far they have not done that. Max Christie now is at the line for Dallas. Max Christie makes the first, and that puts the Mavericks on the board. And Max Christie makes both free throws. All right, here comes Tyler Hero. Kicks it out to Wiggins. To Pelle Larsson. And Larsson gets the and-1 over Cooper Flagg, and he'll go to the line for the and-1. Nicely done by Pelle Larsson. Lowers his shoulder and gets the layup under duress. Larsson missing that and-1, but the rebound goes to Anthony Davis. Here come the Mavericks. Nembhard being guarded by Davion Mitchell. Gives it to Cooper Flagg. Nembhard recovers the ball. Gives it to Anthony Davis for 3. Anthony Davis misses it, and that's going to be Heat ball. Here comes Davion Mitchell. For 3. That's a miss. Rebound by Anthony Davis. Davis gives it to Cooper Flagg. To Andrew Nembhard. Najee Marshall for 3. That's a miss. Rebound by Miami. And here come the Heat. Davion Mitchell drives it in, gets his shot blocked, but it's going to be last touch on Dallas. Here comes Wiggins with the turnaround jumper. He misses it. Rebound by Dallas. Cooper Flag, spot up 3, and he knocks it down. Sorry, that's a 2-pointer. So the Mavericks trail by 6. Here comes Miami. Wiggins being guarded by Marshall. Miami comes up with a loose ball. Tyler Hero drives in, and he gets the layup. And the Heat lead by 8. Here comes Cooper Flag. And that's going to be a foul on Pelle Larsson. Cooper Flag looking to get some retribution after that and one opportunity that Pelle Larsson had over him. Cooper Flag just lowered his shoulder and charged right at Pelle Larsson. But Cooper Flag will go to the line for 2 free throws. Flag makes the first. And Flag makes both free throws. So the Mavericks trail by 6. Alright, here comes Miami. They give it to Pelle Larsson. Out to Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell drives in the layup. And the Heat are back up by 8. Alright, here comes Anthony Davis. And he gets the turnaround jumper. The Mavericks trail by 6. Here comes Pelle Larsson. He gets fouled and will go to the line for 2 free throws. That foul is on Cooper Flag. Alright, Pelle Larsson at the line. Larsson makes the first, and Klay Thompson will enter the game for Dallas. Cooper Flag will take a seat. And Pelle Larsson knocks down both free throws. The Heat lead by 8 in this one. Here comes Nembhard, being guarded by Davion Mitchell. Takes it out to Anthony Davis. Gives it to Klay Thompson. Back to Nembhard. Najee Marshall has it out to Klay Thompson for 3. And Klay Thompson misses that one. Here comes Tyler Hero flying through, going coast to coast. And misses that layup. Rebound by Andrew Nembhard. Here comes Max Christie for 3, and Max Christie knocks down that 3. The Mavericks trail by 5. Here comes Davion Mitchell. Gives it to Wiggins. Wiggins missing that layup. And here comes the Mavericks again. Klay Thompson has it. Being guarded by Pelle Larsson. And Klay Thompson misses that one. Here come the Heat. Here comes Bam. He misses that one. both teams have kind of cooled off on their offense. And here comes Nemhart, and he knocks it down. The Mavericks now trail by 3 in this one. Here comes Tyler Hero. Misses that one, but he gets his own rebound and put back to put the Heat up by 5. And here comes Anthony Davis. Misses that one. Rebound by Davion Mitchell. Kicks it out to Wiggins for the easy basket. And that's going to prompt a Dallas Mavericks timeout. The Heat lead 20-13 in this one. We've seen some stellar plays from both teams, but Miami has jumped out ahead on offense. And we'll be back for more Heat action. And we are back. Score is 20-13 Miami. I see we don't have the scoreboard up, but I'll keep track of the score play by play as always. So right now, the Mavericks have the ball, and we see Daniel Gafford on the floor for for Dallas. Alright, Jaime Jaquez Jr. also out there for the Heat. That's Klay Thompson for 3, and he knocks it down. The Mavericks now trail by 4. Here comes Davion Mitchell, kicks it out to Pelle Larsson. Out to Bam. Here comes Jaquez. Jaquez swings it out to Wiggins. To Davion Mitchell. Here comes Davion Mitchell, flying in. Oh no, the ball is loose. And that's going to be that's going to be a safe. That is going to be a 24-second violation on the Heat, so it'll be Mavericks ball. Credit the Mavericks defense for clamping down on Miami. And that error pass from Davion Mitchell. Oof. All right, here come the Mavericks. Now he missed the basket. Rebound. Nope. Stolen away by Miami. Here comes Jaquez. Jaquez kicks it out to Bam. Bam being guarded by Gafford. And Bam knocks down the basket over Daniel Gafford as the Heat lead 22-16. And here come the Mavericks. Williams kicks it out to Klay Thompson. Gives it to Daniel Gafford. To Max Christie. And he overthrows his target, and that will be Heat ball. All right, here comes Hawkes. Hawkes driving it in. He misses the layup. Rebound by Hawkes. Hawkes misses again. Rebound. Hawkes recovers the ball. Loses it again. And here comes Najee Marshall. Gives it to Klay Thompson for three. And Klay Thompson knocks it down as the Mavericks trail by 3. Here comes Wiggins. Gives it to Hawkes. To Drew Smith. And Drew Smith gets fouled. That one's going to be on Max Christie. All right, so Drew Smith will go to the line for 2 free throws. He makes the first, and we have ourselves a 4-point game. Former Heat player Caleb Martin enters the game for Dallas. And we also see D'Angelo Russell in the game, as Drew Smith knocks down both free throws. Miami leads 24-19. Here comes Williams. Klay Thompson, another 3. He misses it. Rebound by Simone Fontecchio. Here comes Hawkes. Hawkes to Fontecchio. Wiggins for 3. He misses it. Rebound by Caleb Martin. He gives it to Williams. Williams flies in, and he gets the layup. And we'll go to the line for the and 1. Williams flew through the Heat's defense and managed to get the layup under duress. All right, Tyler Heroes re-entering the game for Miami. Andrew Wiggins will take a seat. And Williams makes the and 1. So we now have a 2-point game. Hawkes gives it to Drew Smith. Hawkes to Fontecchio for 3. That's a miss. Rebound by Dallas. Here comes Williams, flying in a hurry. Gives it to Caleb Martin. To Klay Thompson. To Daniel Gafford. And Gafford gets fouled, and we'll go to the line for 2 free throws. So that will prompt a timeout as the Heat lead 24-22. The Mavericks have been chipping away at the Heat's lead, and they're going to make things more difficult as this game progresses. And we'll be right back. And we're back. Score is 24-22, Miami. We see the player matchup between Kel'el Ware and Daniel Gafford. Both identical in height, career points percentage, and positioning. But as far as career reboundings per game, Kel'el Ware has the edge with 8.2 over Gafford's 5.7. So right now, Daniel Gafford is at the line for the Mavericks, looking to tie the game. Okay, both teams are getting in position for the free throw. Right. Here goes Daniel Gafford. Gafford makes the first. And Gafford makes both free throws. So we're tied at 24. And here comes Drew Smith, being guarded by Williams. Gives it to Kel'el Ware. To Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero misses that one. Kel'el Ware soars for the rebound and the putback to put the Heat up by 2. Nice play from Kel'el Ware. And here comes Williams. And a block from Kel'el Ware. Nice play. Nice play on both ends of the floor. Simone Fontecchio gives it to Tyler Hero. Out to Drew Smith. Gives it to Jaquez. Jaquez finds Fontecchio. Loses the ball. And it's recovered by Dallas. Daniel Gafford gives it to Williams. Williams guarded by Drew Smith. Williams directing traffic. And another block from Kel'el Ware. That one goes out of bounds, but it will be Mavericks ball. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Kel'el Ware. A rebound and putback on one end of the floor, and 2 blocks on defense. Kel'el Ware is showing everyone what he can do this season. Here comes D'Angelo Russell. Loses the ball. But Jaime Jaquez Jr. stepped out of bounds, so it will remain with Dallas ball. Yeah, it looks like Jaquez stepped out of bounds, so it'll be Dallas ball. Alright, Dallas missing that one. Here comes the Heat. Drew Smith going coast to coast. Misses everything. Here comes Williams looking to do the same thing. And he beats out Jaquez for the layup. And we're all tied at 26. Here comes Jaquez. To Fontecchio. Out to Drew Smith. Here comes Tyler Hero. And Tyler Hero gets the layup, plus the foul. And Tyler Hero appears to be down. Uh-oh. Hopefully it's nothing serious, Heat fans. Ooh, collided right into Dwight Powell for that one. All right, so Tyler Hero will go to the line for the N1. And Tyler Hero makes the N1. Here comes Williams. Finds Caleb Martin. Misses the layup. Rebound by Kel'el Ware. And here comes Drew Smith. Gives it to Hawkes. Hawkes to Kel'el Ware. Kel'el Ware with the footwork, but he will go to the line for 2 free throws. That was some fancy footwork from Kel'el Ware. Kel'el Ware makes the first free throw, and we now have a four-point game. And Kel'el Ware makes both free throws. The Heat lead by 5. Here comes Williams. Gives it to Dwight Powell. D'Angelo Russell for 3. He misses it, but Dwight Powell's there to get the putback. But I think the basket won't count for some reason. So instead it's going to be free throws for Dallas. I think Kel'el Ware may have found Dwight Powell on his way to the basket. Oh, so it's going to be a technical free throw for Miami. Not sure who got the technical foul. Oh, it's Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin got the technical foul. So that will put Fontecchio at the line. Fontecchio makes the first. Caleb Martin will come out of the game. And Fontecchio makes both free throws. So now it's a 7-point game. Here comes Williams, guarded by Drew Smith. Williams gives it to Klay Thompson. And Klay Thompson knocks it down with a turnaround jumper. Here comes Simone Fontecchio. Gets his shot blocked, and that will end the first quarter. So at the end of the first quarter, the score is 33-28 Miami. That was a very physical first quarter, and we'll be back for the second quarter, which should be even more physical and even more fast-paced. And we are back. Score is 33-28 Miami. Right now, the Mavericks have shot 42% from the field, whereas Miami shot only 36. Miami's had 7 second chance points to the Mavericks 0. Miami has dominated in the paint so far with 18 points to 8, but Dallas has the most bench points with 15 to Miami's 8. So here comes Ryan Nembhard being guarded by Drew Smith. They give it to Klay Thompson. Anthony Davis was there for the rebound and the putback. So the Mavericks trail by 3. Here comes Fontecchio. Gives it to Hawkes. Hawkes being guarded by Cooper Flagg. Hawkes gets fouled by Cooper Flagg, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. I think that's Cooper Flagg's 3rd foul right now. The Heat are fortunate on that one. Hawkins knocks down the first. Yep, and Cooper Flagg right now has 4 points and 3 fouls. Oof. And Jaime Hawkins Jr. knocks down both free throws. So right now the Heat lead by 5. They give it to Anthony Davis. Davis being guarded by Kel'el Ware. Kicks it out to Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg with the crossover and the basket. And the Mavericks trail by 3 again. Alright, here comes Hawkes. And Kel'el Ware with the rebound and the putback as the Heat go up by 5. Alright, they give it to Ryan Nembhard. Out to Cooper Flagg. Here comes Cooper Flagg. Anthony Davis, corner 3. And he knocks it down. And the Mavericks are within 2. That's going to be a kick ball on the Mavericks. So that'll still be Heat ball. Alright, here comes Miami. Tyler Hero. And that lob is knocked away by Dallas. Klay Thompson for 3. And he sinks it to give the Mavs their first lead of the night. Alright, here comes Hawkes. Hawkes flying in. Gives it to Kel'el Ware. And that's a missed corner 3. Here come the Mavericks. They give it to Anthony Davis. He comes up short on that one. And here comes Simone Fontecchio. Gives it to Drew Smith for the 3. That's a miss. Rebound by Kel'el Ware. Gives it to Tyler Hero for the 3. And Tyler Superhero knocks down that 3. And the Heat go up by 2. Miami right now with 5 offensive rebounds to Dallas's only 1. Miami now with 12 second chance points to Dallas's only 2. Alright, they give it to Ryan Nembhard. Back to Anthony Davis. Gets his shot blocked by Drew Smith from behind. Klay Thompson comes up short, but he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Nice 3-point shot from Klay Thompson. So it looks like it's going to be Heat ball instead. Dallas right now with 7 turnovers. Miami only with 3. Here comes Tyler Hero. Gives it to Hawkes. Hawkes driving in. Misses that one. Rebound by Anthony Davis. Here comes Ryan Nembhard. Here comes Anthony Davis again. Rebound by Kel'el Ware. Here comes Tyler Hero. To Fontecchio. To Kel'el Ware. It's a mismatch for Kelly Ware, but he passes it out to Tyler Hero. And Tyler Hero drives it in again. And the Heat go up by 4. Alright, here comes Ryan Nembhard, directing traffic for the Mavs. Gives it to Najee Marshall. And Klay Thompson comes up with that miss. Ball's knocked loose. But when we have a foul in the play against Miami. And that one goes out of bounds on Dallas, so it'll be Heat ball. Cooper Flag was trying to get fancy with it with the turnaround jumper, but missed. All right, and here come the Heat. Tyler Hero again, and he knocks it down. And the Heat go up by 6. Here comes Ryan Nembhard. Gives it to Max Christie. Out to Nembhard. Kicks it out to Najee Marshall for the corner 3. And Najee Marshall knocks it down. And the Mavericks trail by 3. And here comes Fontecchio. Ball's loose and turned over by Dallas. Cooper Flag gets it. And he gets the layup over Miami. And the Mavericks are now within 1. Kelly Ware. Kelly Superboy Ware. 3 for Miami. As the Heat go up by 4. Alright, here comes the Mavericks. Ryan Nembhard, guarded by Davion Mitchell. Cooper Flag now has it, guarded by Larson. That's a 3. And Ryan Nembhard gets the 3-pointer to bring the Mavericks within 1 again. And here come the Heat. Fontecchio for 3. And that's a miss. Rebound by Dallas. Here comes Anthony Davis with it. Gives it to Ryan Nembhard for the corner 3. And Ryan Nembhard does it again to give the Mavericks the lead. And the Mavs lead by 2. And that's going to prompt a timeout from Erik Spoelstra as the Miami Heat look to rethink strategy. Ryan Nembhard knocking down back-to-back 3-pointers to give Dallas a 49-47 lead. And we will be back for more Heat action in Dallas. And we are back. The Miami Heat trailing by 2 in this one. And here comes Nikola Jovic. He's in the game. And there's a 3 from Pelle Larsson. Ball's knocked loose. It will remain Heat ball. Alright, Davion Mitchell will inbound the ball. Gives it to Jovic. And Jovic missing that layup, but he gets his own rebound. Bam for 3. That's a miss. Rebound by Daniel Gafford. And here comes Ryan Nembhard. Ryan Nembhard guarded by Jovic. Ryan Nembhard with a crossover. And he knocks down that basket as the Mavericks go up by 4. Here comes Bam. Bam knocks down the easy basket. The Heat trail by 2. Here comes Ryan Nembhard. Being guarded by Davion Mitchell. Now being guarded by Jovic. Ryan Nembhard looking for another crossover. Gives it to Max Christie. Max Christie, corner 3. He misses it. Rebound by Jovic. Here comes Jovic. Gives it to Bam. Back to Jovic for the 3. That's a miss. And here come the Mavericks again. D'Angelo Russell being guarded by Pelle Larsson. Gives it to Nembhard. To Daniel Gafford. Back to D'Angelo Russell. And that's going to be a foul on the Heat. Ryan Nembhard crossed up Nikola Jovic's ankles and made that basket. I gotta have secondhand embarrassment on that one. I mean, Jovic had no control over his ankles on that one. Here comes Najee Marshall. He gets the basket. And the Mavs go up by 4. Alright, here comes Davion Mitchell. Kicks it out to Jovic. Pelle Larsson. Alright, another rebound for Dallas, and here comes Ryan Nembhard. That's a 3. And Ryan Nembhard knocks it down. And the Mavericks' largest lead now is 7. Here comes Wiggins. Drives in, and that's going to be an offensive foul on Miami. Daniel Gafford putting up a defensive wall against Wiggins. Daniel Gafford was in the right position in the right time, beating Wiggins to the punch. Cooper Flag is back in the game for the Mavs. Here comes Nembhard. He gets fouled and will go to the line for 2 free throws. Alright, Max Christie gets it. And he manages to get the basket despite Nikola Jovic's best efforts. So the Mavericks go up by 9. Nikola Jovic looks kind of slew-footed tonight. Here comes Wiggins to Bam. And Bam gets the basket. The Heat trail by 7 in this one. And here comes D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell gets his own rebound and put back as the Mavs go up by 9. Here comes Miami. Pella Larson to Nikola Jovic. Back out to Larson. Pella Larson missing that three-pointer. And here comes Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag knocks down the basket. And the Mavericks go up by 11. Here comes Pella Larson. He gets it to Davion Mitchell. And Davion Mitchell gets the layup. As the Heat trail by 9. Alright, Nembhard being guarded. Gives it to D'Angelo Russell. Back to Nembhard. Nikola Jovic guarding Nembhard this time around. And Nembhard comes up with that miss. Rebound by Wiggins. Wiggins gives it to Davion Mitchell. Out to Nikola Jovic. To Bam. And Bam misses that one. Bam still getting double teamed. And that's going to lead to a timeout. The Mavericks right now, they are leading 62-53. And Miami looks kind of wonky on offense and defense. So Coach Spoelstra needs to figure something out. And we will be back from a Heat action. And we are back. Score is 62-53 Dallas. So far in this one, Ryan Nembhard, Cooper Flag, D'Angelo Russell, they've been having their way with the Heat. And the Heat needs to find some answers on both ends of the floor because they look kind of off. I mean, the flow is not there. The pacing is kind of wonky right now. Nikola Jovic got his ankles broken by Ryan Nembhard. Sorry, not sorry. But the Heat need to figure something out. Alright, and here come the Mavericks again. Cooper Flag, guarded by Andrew Wiggins. Ball's knocked loose, but it will remain with the Mavericks. Alright, Dallas will have it side out. They give it to Nembhard. Nembhard, guarded by Davion Mitchell. Here comes Anthony Davis. Davis airballs that one, and that's going to be going to the Heat. All right, here comes Miami. They give it to Davion Mitchell. Here comes Jovic. Kicks it out to Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell gives it to Wiggins, and he misses it. All right. Anthony Davis gives it to Max Christie. Here comes Max Christie again. Corner three for Klay Thompson. Misses it. Rebound by Jovic. Jovic kicks it out to Wiggins. Wiggins misses it. And here comes the Mavericks again. Ryan Nembhard directing traffic for Dallas. Nembhard being guarded by Tyler Hero. He gives it to Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis comes up with a miss. But Najee Marshall's there for the rebound and the putback. The Mavericks lead by 11. Nikola Jovic has it, but he gets fouled. So that's going to be a technical foul on Dallas. Now we'll send Tyler Hero to the line. And Tyler Hero knocks down that technical free throw. And that was a nice heads-up play from Najee Marshall to get that rebound and put back for Dallas. The Mavs lead by 10 in this one. Here comes Davion Mitchell. And he misses the basket. And that will end the second quarter. At halftime, Dallas leads 64-54. So in the first quarter, Miami kind of dominated. They got out to an 8-0 start, but then the Mavericks started to make things a lot difficult. Or I should say a bit difficult for the Heat. Getting some baskets to fall from Max Christie, Najee Marshall, even Klay Thompson coming off the bench. But then in the second quarter, the Mavericks aggressively chipped away at the Heat's lead and overtook them. Cooper Flagg had his moments. Anthony Davis had his moments. Ryan Nembhard not only crossed up Nikola Jovic, but also hit back-to-back three-pointers, which led to the Mavericks getting that lead in the first place. The Heat right now needs to figure things out on both ends of the floor because their pacing looks kind of off. Their offense and defense look very wonky. I mean, they don't know what to do right now. But both teams need to, actually no, the Heat needs to find a rhythm, find a groove, an edge, if you will, and restore that pacing and offense. So right now it's halftime, and I'll be back to get the play-by-play for the third quarter. And for those of you who are still with us, feel free to comment some questions and I'll answer them right away. But right now, it's halftime. And we are back. Ready for the third quarter as Dallas leads 64-54. Miami once had a solid lead, but now that has been overtaken by Dallas. Here comes Najee Marshall being guarded by Pella Larson. And Najee Marshall drives in for the layup as the Mavericks now lead by 12. Here comes Tyler Hero. He gives it to Davion Mitchell. Here comes Wiggins. Wiggins driving in, kicks it out to Bam for three. Nope. Bam gets fouled, and he will go to the line. I'm sorry, Miami will have it side out, excuse me. Alright, here comes Davion Mitchell. Gives it to Tyler Hero. Out to Wiggins. Here comes Wiggins. And he loses it, but he gets fouled. Wiggins will go to the line for 2 free throws. Andrew Wiggins knocks down the first. And Andrew Wiggins makes 12 free throws. The Heat trail by 10. Here comes Ryan Nembhard. Kicks it out to Max Christie. Open three. And Max Christie knocks it down. As the Mavericks go up by 13. Max Christie, of course, the son of former Sacramento Kings guard Doug Christie. Here comes Bam. Gives it to Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins flying in. Misses the layup. Rebound by Anthony Davis, and here comes Cooper Flagg. Ryan Nembhard now has the ball. Gives it to Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis just put Andrew Wiggins on a poster with that jam. The Mavs now lead by 15. That's a bad defensive sequence for Miami. Bam should not have overcommitted on the double team that allowed Anthony Davis to get the poster jam. Alright, and here comes Bam. Let's see what he can do. And he knocks down the turnaround jumper. The Heat trail by 13. Here comes Cooper Flagg, being guarded by Pella Larson. Ryan Nembhard now has it. Back to Flagg. And Cooper Flagg comes up with that miss. Here comes Bam. Bam with another turnaround jumper, and he gets it. Bam was looking for the foul, but he doesn't get it. And the Heat now trail by 11. Here comes Anthony Davis. Gives it to Ryan Nembhard. Anthony Davis for three. And he knocks it down. And we have ourselves a 14-point game. Andrew Wiggins now has it. Gives it to Davion Mitchell. To Bam. Here comes Bam. Loses the ball. But it's recovered by Ryan Nembhard. Anthony Davis right now with a double-double of 12 points and 11 rebounds. Ryan Nembhard looking to get a double-double of his own. Already with 8 assists. Dallas come up with that miss. And here comes Miami. And Andrew Wiggins scores for that layup as the Heat trail by 12. All right, here comes Dallas. Anthony Davis backing down Palo Larson. Another miss for Dallas. And here comes the Heat. Tyler Hero coming up with that miss. And here comes the Mavericks again. Another miss for Dallas. And Miami needs to capitalize right now. Davion Mitchell for three. And that's a costly miss. Alright, here comes the Mavericks. Ryan Nembhard directing traffic. Being guarded by Tyler Hero. He loses the ball, and it's right back to the Heat. The Heat got numbers. Davion Mitchell flying in. Gets his shot blocked. And the Mavericks recovered the rebound again. Here comes Najee Marshall. Gets the basket. And Anthony Davis is banged up as the Heat call timeout. Anthony Davis soaring for that block. And that led to another easy basket for the Mavericks. As that was lead 76-62. Alright. Couscous 81 asks, do you think Bam Adebayo will get 7 rebounds and Wiggins will get 1 3-pointer? That's a good question, Couscous. I would say that a part of me wants to say it's less than possible for one of them, but for Bam, I think he's gonna get at least 7 rebounds. It's not gonna be like a high 7 rebounds, kind of like a low 7 rebounds in this game, because the Mavericks are definitely dominating and getting more rebounds than Miami. But as for Wiggins, right now his offense doesn't look that good. Even if he gets 1 3-pointer, yeah, it'll suffice, but his offense right now doesn't look like it's promising. I mean, well, okay. The Wiggins 3-pointer thing, yeah, Wiggins' offense has been off. But if he can manage to find a groove by getting to the lane or even hitting some mid-range shots, maybe that will open things up for him, and that will find his 1 3-point shot that you're saying he needs to find right now. But as for Bam, I believe he's going to get 7 rebounds before we ever see a Wiggins 3-pointer in this game. And we are back. Right now, Anthony Davis may have injured himself again, but the Heat really needs to capitalize as Daniel Gafford comes up with that steal against Tyler Hero. Klay Thompson hitting the 3. He misses it. Rebound by Wiggins. Gives it to Bam. Bam for three. And that's way off. And here comes Ryan Nembhard. Mavericks looking to direct traffic and maintain their lead. Mavericks right now with 35 rebounds to Miami's 25. And there's Klay Thompson with a corner three. And the Mavericks now lead by 17. The largest lead of the night was 18. And here's Bam, and he knocks down the basket. The Heat trail by 15 in this one. Here comes Cooper Flagg. Ryan Nembhard kicks it out to Max Christie. Back out to Nembhard. Cooper Flagg setting the screen. Max Christie for three. And that's off. So that will be Heat ball. Right now, the Heat really needs to get some momentum going on their side. Klay Thompson right now with 14 points in this game, hitting 4 3-pointers, looking like his old self from his Golden State days. And here comes Hawkins. Out to Bam. Bam being guarded by Cooper Flagg. And gets his own rebound, and Bam with the slam! As the Heat trail by 13. And here comes Williams. Miami right now, they have 14 second chance points, and they're tied with Dallas with 7 rebounds each. Williams almost lost the ball. Williams knocks down the fadeaway jumper. As the Mavericks now trail by 15. They lead by 15, excuse me. Cooper Flagg knocked it out of bounds, so it'll be Heat ball. Dallas right now winning the bench point game with 25 points to Miami's 15. D'Angelo Russell is entering the game as Max Christie will take a seat. Here comes Davion Mitchell out to Wiggins. Wiggins almost thought about the three, but he loses the ball. That ball's recovered by Dallas. Wiggins definitely hesitated on about making that three, but then when he got to the rim, that's where things kind of fall. That's where things kind of just fell apart for him. All right, here comes Williams, being guarded by Davion. Cooper Flagg again, and he gets the layup over Bam. And the Mavericks lead by 17. Here comes Wiggins, out to Bam. Back out to Wiggins for three. And Cuckoo's 81-81, you just got your wish. Andrew Chief Wiggins knocked down that three for you. And here comes the Mavericks. Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg gets the basket over the Heat. And here comes Tommy Hawkins Jr. He gives it to Davion. Out to Hawkins. Back to Wiggins. Here comes Wiggins. To Bam. And Jaime Hawkins Jr. is there for the rebound and the putback as the Heat trail by 14. Here goes Cooper Flagg. Ball's knocked loose, and it will be Heat ball. Could Miami be starting to find their rhythm on offense? We'll find out as Simone Fontecchio enters the game for the Heat. Cooper Flag will also take a seat for the Mavericks as Najee Marshall re-enters the game. Here comes Davion Mitchell. Kicks it out to Simone Fontecchio. And Simone La Dolce Vita Fontecchio. 3 for Miami. Right now, the Heat are starting to come back into this one, but only time will tell, as the Dallas Mavericks will take a timeout. The Mavs lead 85-74, and we will be back for more Heat action. And we are back. The Heat trail by 11, and they're starting to come back into this one. Here goes Williams. Gives it to Najee Marshall. Back to Williams. Here comes Najee Marshall. Back to Williams for 3. That's a miss. Daniel Gafford has the ball, but he loses it. Here comes Miami. Here comes Drew Smith. The alley-oop to Kalel Super Bowl. Where? And the Heat trail by 9 in this one. Miami now with 42 points in the paint to Dallas' 30. A good sign right there. And another steal from Miami. And here come the Heat. Jaime Jaquez Jr. slows down. Finds Andrew Wiggins for 3. And that's a miss. Here goes Klay Thompson. Gives it to D'Angelo Russell. Out to Klay Thompson for 3. And he misses it. Daniel Gafford comes up with a rebound. He misses the layup. Gives it to Williams. Daniel Gafford's getting up a bit slowly. He's hurt. Daniel Gafford is hurt as Dallas knocks down that basket. He's clutching his ankle. We need to call a timeout right now. Another Dallas big man is down. Daniel Gafford is in some discomfort, clutching his ankle. That does not look good for the Mavericks. You hate to see that from a very good player like Daniel Gafford. Let's see where he landed awkwardly. Didn't look like he landed on anything at first. Kind of like an awkward landing, but Daniel Gafford will exit the game. He'll exit the game, go to the back to be evaluated. Drew Smith knocking down that technical free throw. And that brings the Heat within 10. Dwight Powell now in the game for the Mavericks. So right now, Dallas are without Anthony Davis and now Daniel Gafford. And here comes Jaime Jaquez. Kicks it out to... Well, that looks like that's an errant pass, but it will be Mavs ball, or rather offensive foul, I should say. Here comes Williams. Williams gets the ball back. Miami comes up with a steal, but it goes right back to Dallas. All right, here comes D'Angelo Russell. Gives it to Najee Marshall. Back to Klay Thompson. And D'Angelo Russell 3 for Dallas. Right now the Mavs lead by 13 in this one. They give it to Fontecchio. Here comes Drew Smith. Tyler Hero. Jaquez. Jaquez drives it in. Kicks it out to Tyler Hero for the corner 3. That's a miss. Rebound by Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson pushes it out to Williams. Here comes Williams. Dallas swinging the ball around for another 3 from D'Angelo Russell. And now the Mavericks go up by 16. Here comes Tyler Hero. Kello Ware setting the screen. Gives it to Drew Smith. Kello Ware for 3. And Kello Superboy Ware. 3 from Miami. Heat trail by 13 in this one. Najee Marshall with the spin. Kicks it out to Klay Thompson for 3. That's a miss. And that will take us to the end of the third quarter. The Miami Heat are on a roll on offense. They found that rhythm. But the Mavericks are still knocking down their baskets as well. So at the end of the third, the score is 93-80, Dallas. And we are back for the fourth quarter. Score is 93-80. Dallas now has the ball. Anthony Davis kicks it out to Klay Thompson for another three. And Klay Thompson knocks down that three. And the score, the Mavericks lead by 16. Klay Thompson looking like his old self from his Golden State days. Tyler Hero gets fouled by D'Angelo Russell. Hey, don't count this Mavericks team out. Cooper Flag is surrounded by veterans who know a thing or two about winning championships. And here comes Simone Fontecchio for three. That's a miss. Rebound by Drew Smith. Out to Kel'el Ware. And Kel'el Ware. Oh, that's basket interference on Kel'el Ware. Kel'el Ware should have waited before the basket eventually left the cylinder. Here comes Anthony Davis. Loses the ball, and here come the Heat. The Heat are playing small right now as Jaquez gets into the layup. The Heat trail by 14. All right, here comes Williams. Gives it to D'Angelo Russell. Klay Thompson for three. Misses it. Rebound by Kel'el Ware. Here comes Drew Smith. Out to Kel'el Ware for three. And Kel'el Superboy Ware, three for Miami, as the Heat are within 11. Kel'el Ware now with 17 points, shooting 6 from 8 from the field, and going 75% from three-point land as Drew Smith comes up with that steal. And Tyler Hero comes up with that miss. Here comes D'Angelo Russell now for the Mavericks. He gives it to Cooper Flag. Back out to Russell. For three. That's a miss. Another rebound for Kel'el Ware. But it's stolen away by Cooper Flag. And that was last touched by Miami. So it will be Mavs ball. That was an errant pass by Kel'el Ware. Was not aware that Cooper Flag was in the area. All right, and Najee Marshall gets the easy layup as the Mavericks go up by 13. Here comes Jaime Jaquez. He gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Jaquez knocks down the first. And Jaquez makes both free throws. Miami has gone 17 for 18 from the free throw line, while Dallas has went 7 for 7 from the charity stripe. And another steal by Jaquez. Here comes Miami. They got numbers. Out to Drew Smith. And Drew Smith gets the layup, and that will prompt a Dallas Mavericks timeout. Jason Kidd did not like what he saw out there. The Heat are trying to make a comeback, but the Mavericks now have the Mavericks hold a lead. The score is 98-89. And we are back. Score is 98-89. 7 Dallas Mavericks players have made 10 points or more against Miami. But despite that, the Heat are starting to make a comeback. And a much needed one at that. But it all depends on what they do throughout the duration of the fourth quarter. Cooper Flag inbounds the ball. He gets it back. He's driving. He's going coast to coast. Misses that layup, but he gets fouled. So that will send Cooper Flag to the line. It looked like the Heat defense couldn't stop Cooper Flag. So Flag will go to the line for 2 free throws. Flag makes the first, and we're now back at a 10-point game. And Flag makes both free throws. So it's now an 11-point game. Here comes Drew Smith. Gives it to Hawkins. Here comes Hawkins with a spin. Fake out. Misses that one. Gets his own rebound. Simone Fontecchio. And Simone La Dolce Vita Fontecchio. 3 for Miami. And the Heat are within 8. Miami now with 19 second chance points compared to Dallas's 10. Here comes Ryan Nembhard. Ryan Nembhard. Anthony Davis for 3. Don't leave him open, but that's an air ball. And it'll go right back to the Heat. Dallas now with 14 turnovers to Miami's 10, yet they still have the lead. Here comes Hawkins. Hawkins misses the basket. Rebound by Cooper Flag. Flag out to Nembhard. Nembhard to Davis. Back to Flag. Here comes... And Cooper Flag gets the and-one. Cooper Flag going to the line for the and-one. I mean, good effort from Kelly Ware, but he should have got there earlier before Cooper Flag did anything. And Cooper Flag misses that and one opportunity. And here comes Tommy Hawkins Jr. And that's going to be a foul on the Mavericks. All right, Anthony Davis comes out of the game, and Dwight Powell will come in for Dallas. Here comes Andrew Wiggins. Gives it to Fontecchio. And Jaime Hawkins Jr. gets the layup. Now the Heat are within 8. Here comes Cooper Flag, being guarded by Drew Smith. He gives it to Najee Marshall. Here comes Ryan Nembhard. That's going to be a goaltend on Miami. So 2 points awarded to Najee Marshall. Another misfire on defense from Kelly Ware. And the Mavericks go up by 10. Ryan Nembhard now with a double-double of 13 points and 13 assists. Here comes Simone Fontecchio. to Kel'el Ware. The Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes being guarded by Najee Marshall. Kel'el Ware, double team, and he loses the ball, and here comes Cooper Flagg. And a nice block by Wiggins. Here comes some money Fontecchio with the crossover, almost loses the ball. Gives it right back. Fontecchio for three. Misses it. Rebound by Drew Smith. Drew Smith for three. And Drew Ski Smith, three from Miami. And the Heat are within 7. All right, here comes Cooper Flagg. Guarded by Drew Smith. Max Christie now has it. Looking to drive into the lane. Kicks it out to Najee Marshall for three, and he knocks it down. And the Mavericks go up by 10. Here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. Kicks it out to Kel'el Ware for three. And Kel'el Superboy Ware. 3 from Miami. And he just redeemed himself after that one. Mavericks now in the lead by 7. Alright, here comes Cooper Flagg. And it's stolen away by Miami. But I think it was last touched by let's see what happens. It was last touched by the Heat, I'm sure. Alright, so it will be Heat ball. Cooper Flagg will come out of the game. Alright, Bam Adebayo will inbound the ball. Here comes Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins missing that basket. Rebound by Anthony Davis. Here comes Max Christie. Gives it to Ryan Nembhard. Ryan Nembhard with a setback, and he knocks it down. And the Mavericks lead by 9. Here comes Wiggins. Wiggins to Fontecchio. To Kel'el Ware. And Kel'el Ware with a scoop layup. And that brings the Heat within 7. Miami needs to really lock in on defense right now. So far they have 50 points in the paint. And only compared to Dallas' 38. Here comes Anthony Davis, guarded by Kel'el Ware. That's a foul, and that will send, and that's gonna send Anthony Davis to the line. That foul looked like it was on Simone Fontecchio. So Anthony Davis will go to the line for 2 free throws. Anthony Davis missing the first. Alright, Tyler Hero and Davion Mitchell now are in the game for Miami. And Anthony Davis goes 1 of 2 from the line. So the Mavericks lead by 8. Anthony Davis was 13 points and 14 rebounds. Here comes Bam, and he gets the basket. And now the Heat are within 6. Here comes Ryan Nembhard. Gives it to Anthony Davis, back to Nembhard. Here Here comes Max Christie. Back to Nemhard again. Here goes Max Christie. And Max Christie comes up with that miss. Rebound by Kel'el Ware. He gives it to Bam. Gives it to Wiggins. Here comes Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins gets his shot blocked. And the ball is knocked loose and it will be out on Dallas. The Heat catch a break on that one. Anthony Davis coming up with that block from behind. I mean, the Heat were fortunate on that one, but we will have a timeout. The Mavericks lead 110 to 104. And we are back. Score is 110-104 Dallas. The Heat are starting to make another comeback. But the Mavericks can still put this game away if they can. Alright, Caleb Martin is now in the game for Dallas. Of course, Caleb Martin was part of those Miami Heat teams that was making deep playoff runs during the Jimmy Butler era. And here comes Tyler Hero. Oh, and a miss for Kel'el Ware. So that's going to prompt another timeout. This one for the Mavericks. Dallas lead 110-104. And we are back. Score is 110-104. Dallas. Here comes Anthony Davis. Being double teamed now. Kicks it out to Max Christie. To Najee Marshall. Najee Marshall comes out with that miss, and here comes the Heat. Bam Adebayo. And he gets the layup under the rest, and that brings the Heat within 4. Here comes Cooper Flag. Out to Najee Marshall. Back to Flag. Alright, they give it to Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis gets the basket, and he does. And the Mavericks lead by 6. Here comes Wiggins. Wiggins missing that layup. No foul called, and here comes the Mavericks again. Ryan Nembhard being guarded by Davion Mitchell. Gives to Najee Marshall. Here comes Flag. And Flag with the fadeaway jumper. And the Mavericks are up by 8. Here comes Wiggins. Wiggins gets his shot blocked by Cooper Flag. No foul called. Alright, here comes Ryan Nembhard to Najee Marshall. Here comes Anthony Davis. And Cooper Flag again for the Mavericks. And that's going to prompt the Miami Heat timeout. The Mavericks right now, they have a 10-point lead. They lead 116-106. And we are back. Score is 116-106. Dallas. And the Heat has the ball right now. Here goes Tyler Hero. For 3. That's a miss. Wiggins gets the putback. And that brings the Heat within 8. Here goes Anthony Davis. Out to Max Christie. Back to Davis. Max Christie now has the ball. Being guarded by Kelly Ware. Here comes Tyler Hero guarding Max Christie. And an alley-oop to Anthony Davis. The Mavericks still holding a 10-point lead. Bam for 3. He misses it. Rebound by Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis now with 17 points, 17 rebounds, and 3 blocks. It looks like the Mavericks may have put this one on ice. Ryan Nembhard misses that step back. Here comes Bam. Out to Tyler Hero. Out to Bam for three. That's way off. Stolen away by Ryan Nembhard. And this one is over, ladies and gentlemen. Final score, 118-108, Dallas. If there ever was a revenge game for Cooper Flag, this one was it. A tough loss for the Heat. Definitely, yeah. This was a tough loss. I'm sorry. This was a tough loss for the Heat, who were without Norman Powell. Of course, they could have needed his offense, but this game got away from Dallas. This game got away from Miami, especially in the second quarter, when Dallas went on that run and didn't look back. Even more so with Ryan Nembhard leading the way. So, what hurt Miami the most, despite the fact that they were leading the way with points in the paint and had less turnovers than Dallas, it was the fact that they didn't capitalize on their second chances early in the first half. But not only that, their offense was completely out of whack, as well as their defense. And it didn't make matters any better when Nikola Jovic was in the game. I'm sorry, I have to mention this, but Nikola Jovic looked like he was out of sync with the rest of the team. I mean, I don't want to put the blame on one player when it's a team sport, but you also had missed opportunities from other players as well. I mean, there was also some costly turnovers, some costly opportunities. And even though Miami did kind of make a comeback, like I said, all it took was a few key baskets from Dallas to shut down any chance of retaking the lead, which they did in the fourth quarter. So right now, this was a tough loss for Miami. This was another tough loss for the Heat. And definitely one where the Mavericks definitely came out with a lot of firepower. But as I said, even though Miami won the battle in the offensive rebounding edge, as well as points in the paint, costly turnovers came back to haunt them. So again, this didn't help them. This didn't help the Heat in any way, allowing the Mavericks to get what they wanted, and allowing Ryan Nembhard to steal the show. And Will Bolandris says he's been out of sync for 3 years. Yeah, I kind of see it now. Like, this game exposed Nikola Jovic in a bad way. I mean, he got his ankles taken by Ryan Nembhard, who then hit back-to-back three-pointers. As much as I love Nikola Jovic, I don't know what's going on with him. And Andrew Wiggins, his offense didn't look so good either. Despite that one three-pointer he had in I think the third quarter, the rest of it was just downhill from there. And Coach Spo definitely needs to look at the tape. He needs to look at the tape of this game and see what he needs to do better for the next few games. Because those mismatches really hurt Miami in the long run. Alright, for the Heat, Bam Adebayo had 21 points. Tyler Hero with 20 points. Andrew Wiggins had 11 points. Jaime Hawkins Jr. coming off the bench with 10 points. But Khalil Ware, being our saving grace, somewhat was, he had 22 points and 10 rebounds in that game. And Jin also says we can't go on another failure road trip. No, we cannot. Well, thankfully it's only a 2-game road trip for Miami, and you'll see why later on. And for the Mavericks, Cooper Flag had 22 points. Najee Marshall had 18 points. Klay Thompson coming off the bench and turning the clock back to his Golden State self with 17 points. D'Angelo Russell took it back to his Brooklyn Nets days with 10 points off the bench. Max Christie with 10 points also. And a pair of double-doubles, starting with Anthony Davis going with 17 points and 17 rebounds, and Ryan Nembhard with 15 points and 13 assists. Looking like prime Steve Nash out there. So yes, this is a tough loss for Miami. One they're gonna take on the chin, but they'll learn from this one. They will. But this one is definitely a loss that the Heat won't forget the next time they face Dallas again. Alright. Adabadi 4975 says, I thought we were going to complete the comeback until Wiggins happened. Why do we keep going to him in clutch moments when he was off tonight? I have no clue. I seriously have no clue why. When Wiggins was having a off night, I mean, you could have experimented with Kasper Jr. out there. I mean, why not take a chance? He looked eager in the closing moments of that Clippers game from Monday. He looked eager to get his first points. I mean, you could have swapped out Wiggins, rested him for the rest of the game, and gone with Pala Larson. You could have gone with Tyler Hero instead. But Andrew Wiggins did not look like he had any offensive rhythm of any kind. He didn't look like he could make a jump shot despite that one he had in the third quarter with a 3-pointer. So that was kind of disappointing for me. Wiggins and Jovic were very disappointing for me. I mean, despite the 11 points that Wiggins had, that didn't look good. It didn't look good at all. So the Miami Heat's going to have to figure something out within the next 48 hours. Because the next time we see the Heat, they'll be back on the court again. But this time they'll be back in the Sunshine State, about 3 hours north from where we live, as they take on in-state and division rival Orlando Magic. That game starts 7 o'clock on Friday on FanDuel Sports Network Sun and NBA League Pass. Again, the Heat taking on the Magic, Friday at 7 p.m. on FanDuel Sports Network Sun. And a hello to you, Melvin Amerson. Nice of you to join us for the post-game half of the show. Yeah, unfortunately, the Heat lost 118 to 108, as you can see on the scoreboard below me. And Wiggins did not put up a good game, and neither did Nikola Jovic. He didn't really do nothing other than get his ankles taken by Ryan Nembhard. So that was kind of a tough loss either way. even though Miami had a lot of advantages from points in the paint to lesser turnovers, the Mavs bench is what carried them to that victory. I mean, we can kind of relate to that since the Heat bench, even though we were a deep team and the Heat's bench was also a thriving force, the Mavericks had a better, they were better that night. They were better on this night. Let's give them that. But, in all fairness, there's a chance we might see the Mavericks again. There's a good chance we'll see Cooper Flag and company, whether it's in Dallas or they come to the Kaseya Center in Miami. So again, the next time we see the Heat, they will be in Orlando against the Magic. And that game will start Friday at 7 o'clock on FanDuel Sports Network Sun and NBA League Pass. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in, for commenting and asking questions that I've answered. Hopefully I get to answer more questions and interact with you guys throughout the rest of the season. So, even though this was a fun stream, it was not a fun game for Miami. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in, for commenting, asking questions. Remember to always look out for one another, love each other, take care of each other, even in these uncertain times. Always treat each other with kindness and respect, because you never know when that day comes. I'm Deron Butler, reminding you to always run to the paint. Take care. God bless. I love each and every one of you. And as always, go Heat. I'll see you guys on Friday.